All right, family. How we doing? How are we doing tonight? We are here for this is day 18. Day 18. How you guys feeling tonight? Day 18. Day 18. 18 days strong. How many of you can believe you made it to day 18? Day 18. Seems like we just started. Seemed like it was just day one. And it's day 18, guys. Already. How you guys feeling? How you guys feeling? Nate, love you, man. Praying for you. How you guys feeling? Day 18. Day 18. Day 18. Y'all do me a favor when you're praying. Just call out Nate's name. Anointed man of God. Y'all just call out his name for me. Okay. How's everybody doing? How was your day? How's your day 18 been? How's your day 18 been? I mean, you got 3 days left. Literally. 3 days. 3 days left. We have impartation Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday will be our close. Sunday will be our close. So, I feel like we were just at day 3 and talking about getting to day 7, and day 7 turned into 14, and 14 is mother English miss her junk food. Somebody had mother a bag ready when she come to church on Sunday. Somebody give her a bag of candy when she go. We're going strong. That's right. We're going strong. Going strong. Yeah, it's been an amazing time. I spoke to someone today, and I told you guys that God was going to do some things during these 21 days that you had forgotten about. And someone received a blessing today that they had tried to get 3 years ago, and it came today. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. I can't make this up. God has done, and I'm talking about a significant blessing that proved, God is with them and God is with us during this time. And my biggest prayer during this time has been, God bless your people. Show your people that you're still real. Show your people that you still have them in mind. Show your people that you still love them and you're still for them. And someone sent, they Pastor, I want you to see this. And something they tried to do 3-4 years ago did not work. It came today. Do you understand what I'm saying? It came to them today in the fullness of it. Something they had forgot about that God didn't. God don't forget. I'm telling you, when man forgets, God don't forget. But when God can trust you, and when God can, believe that his blessing you is not going to change who you are, he'll do it. He'll give it to you in the right time. And so we are so grateful to God for all that he's done, all that he continues to do. Thank you for your prayers. I feel your prayers. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your push. Thank you for remembering me during your time of prayer over these 18 days. It has been a great strength to me. It has been a great push to me. And so I want to say thank you to each of you for your prayers. Thank you for your push. Thank you for your accountability. Thank you for your thoughtfulness. Thank you for your consciousness to the time of consecration. Thank you for your respect and admiration to the time of consecration. Thank you for the seriousness in which you have approached consecration. I mean, for 18 days, over 30 of you have been with me every single night on this time of impartation. And so I want to say thank you to you. Thank you for your gifts that you've sown every Wednesday. It is greatly appreciated. And so I want you to know that I appreciate every single last one of you. And there is still more to come. God is not only going to bless you in the remainder of these 21 days, but the Lord spoke to me today and he told me that he's going to bless the people after the 21 days. So he said the 21 days is the time that they set aside for me, but I'm going to bless them even past that. And so God is going to do it. Mother English, I love you for that. I love you for that. And so I am excited and I'm grateful for what the Lord has done. Nicole, I'm so grateful. Nicole, your life will never be the same. You'll be better now for where you need to go. Your future is great, and it's going to be bright. It's going to be filled with joy. And the Lord told me to tell you I was gonna hit you later, but the Lord, I'll tell you now. The Lord told me to tell you He's going to make you happy. The Lord said by the end of 2021, He's going to make you happy again. And He said, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. That's what the Lord told me to tell you. He said she will know what I'm talking about when you tell her. But the Lord said He's going to make you happy again because you were willing to set aside the brokenness in this 21 days. But He said before the end of 2021, the Lord is going to make you happy again, and it's going to be authentic and it's going to be pure. So that's what the Lord said. I don't know. It ain't none of my business to know none of that, but that's what the Lord said. So I am excited. I'm excited. So let's jump into this tonight, day 18. Day 18. Some of you have gotten, I think I should make this a book. I've journaled for 21 days. I think I should make this a book or something, or maybe a journal, a reflection, something. Maybe I should make it a book. Everybody else makes stuff books. Maybe I'll make this a book or something. So that's right. Do it for my sister. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Lamika, you jump on the end of it. God will do it for you too by the end of this year. See, it ain't got to be you. It can be somebody else that's close to you. And what falls on them will fall on you. If we really learn how to be grateful for other people. If you learn to be grateful for other people, what fall on them will fall on you. So I'm excited. I can give you my notes to add to your book. 21 days. This has been a journey through 21 days. I think that's what I'm going to entitle it. A journey through 21 days. Son, I think I'm going to make it a book. A journey through 21 days. I think I'm going to do that. J Rock, love you, nephew. I think I'm going to do that. A journey through 21 days. A journey through 21 days. I think I'm going to do that. All right. Let's go here, y'all. Let's go to this tonight. Look at this. Let's look at our text. Look at our text. The text tonight comes from Matthew, and this is an interesting piece, because I just talked about Calvary yesterday. Y'all remember? I just talked about Calvary yesterday, and I, I just talked about the covenant that led Christ to Calvary. And if you look at this particular text here in Matthew 26, this is the description of Jesus in the garden. He's in the garden, and he's in the garden preparing to pray before he goes into being taken into captivity, all of that. So he's now in a space where he's trying to figure out exactly what's the next step, right? And so him being here, I promise I will, Elder. But him being here causes him to have an interaction, because watch this. Even in Jesus's next decision that was vital, he wanted to make sure that the disciples were prepared when he would not be around. Okay, if you are connected, and that's why it's so vital to be connected to the right leader, because the right leader doesn't need to prepare you for when they're there. They need to prepare you for when you two are not in the same vicinity together. And so my job as a pastor is to always make sure that you are prepared for anything you encounter when you're not around me, when you're not with me, right? That's why I speak and preach and teach to the strengths of you and not the weaknesses of you, because the strengths of you are the things that you will utilize as tools to stand strong, even if you have to stand by yourself. Now, there will be moments where we will be able to stand together and strengthen each other. But the lessons that you get are vital to your comprehension and understanding, because you will have to be able to pull from those things to be able to utilize the right tool in the moment when you're required to stand by yourself. I'll say it again. The teachings, they are vital that you're able to digest and comprehend in the fullness and completeness of it, because what is important is the fact that the time will come when you will have to stand alone, and you're going to be able to have to pull from what's been imparted into you so that you're able to select the right tool for the moment in which you need to operate alone. Okay. And so these things are vital. And what Jesus is getting ready to do is he is getting ready to teach them a vital lesson in prayer. Okay. And I want each of you to really, really pay attention tonight, because this is going to be a vital lesson to understanding how important prayer is to your life. Yes, we pray to solidify, strengthen, and keep our connection to God. Yes, we pray to hear from God, but there's a deeper understanding of what prayer is and why it's so vital that you do it, and you do it at a state that allows you to be alert and aware. Alert and aware. When you're praying, you need to be alert and aware. Alert and aware, right? So watch this. The text says, and he cometh unto the disciples. Jesus came to the disciples and he found them asleep. Okay. So when it begins, in order to understand the fullness of the, okay, let me go here, because this is the best way to do it. If you look so this begins around 26 and verse 20, right? So 26:20 talks about the Last Supper, right? And we all know about the Last Supper. That's also the time when Jesus has a conversation with Judas. He has a conversation, I want to say around verse 13, 14, around there. He has a conversation with Judas, and he tells him, like, you know, whatever it is you're going to do, you go ahead, do it quickly. And I think I want to say around 17, 18, 19 is when Jesus prepares and he has the Last Supper, right? Which is known as Passover, right? And so he has the Passover meal during that time. And then around 20, I'm trying to walk the text, y'all. I don't have a Bible in front of me. Around 20, he goes and he starts, and I believe that's when the Last Supper actually takes place. So I want to say around 17, 18, he prepares the Passover and explains. And 20, he actually walks out the acts of the Last Supper. And then around 31 is when the issue comes where the guards start to talk to Peter, and Peter denies him, and Jesus giving him instructions saying, I already know what you're going to do, right? And then it comes to around 36 where I believe Jesus then now is in the Garden of Gethsemane, and that's when he asks the question, right? He asks the question, and he says to God, you know, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me, blah, 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 right? So we know that. And during this time, he also has a conversation with Peter. And he has a conversation with Peter, and he says to him, sit here while I go and pray, right? Why I'll go to the other side. I think another version says why I go over there and pray. This is around 36, 37, where he has this interaction with Peter. And then what happens is Jesus around 39, 40 is when he has the conversation with God. And during that time, in the conversation of God, he has this conversation with him. And this is around a time where he's speaking to God. And we like to, we often talk about the verbal interaction of, if it's possible, let this cup pass from me, not my will, thy will be done, right? We know that. But what happens is the agony that he experiences causes him to pray longer than he normally does. And so what happens is he ends up praying longer than he normally does, which causes the disciples, which are not ready to experience the longevity of the garden, the longevity in which Jesus is preparing to go before God, because this is not a short-term conversation. This is an extensive conversation. Why? Because God, he created, right? John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever shall believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life, right? So John 3:16 is bigger than God loving the world, giving his only son. He gave his only son to be sacrificed for us, to be able to be the conduit, or the one that is between us and God, because at that point there's no middleman. But John spoke of this, right? He speaks of the time when Jesus shall come. He shall be the Messiah. He shall be the sacred one that will come, and he will sacrifice to be the conduit in between, the sacrificial lamb, all these things that we know are connected to Jesus. So Jesus then comes on the scene. He's doing all of these things. He's healing the sick. He's speaking and they're recovering. Blind eyes are opening. He's raising the dead. And now he finds himself, after 3 years of working, finds himself in a space where now it's time for him to complete what he was down here to do in the first part, which was to be the sacrifice that would be given to God for us, for him to be the middleman, so that the laws that we once lived under, we would no longer live under, because we would have someone that would be the one that would step up, speak up, and go on our behalf before God, because of the things that we would encounter because of the fall of Adam and Eve, which brought sin, which caused people to be born into sin. And now we have these things, and Jesus is carrying these things, and now all of that is in the garden with him. And so Jesus takes all of this. Sorry, I had to get all it out. So Jesus takes all of this into the garden with him. So not only does he take all the things that he's done well, not only does he take all of the miracles that have happened, but what he also takes is he takes the fact that he's about to do something that in his natural mind he does not comprehend well with, because he has done what God has asked him to do. But it was the divinity of him that caused him to say, not my will, thy will be done. And so when you are called by God, there are two facets that begin to operate. It is the natural side of you, and then it is the spiritual side of you. And the natural side will always go against the spiritual side, because the spiritual side causes you to sacrifice more than the natural side. The natural side doesn't understand why the spiritual side of it causes such a great sacrifice. But that's why you have to be sharp and keen in your spiritual walk and interpretation with God when he speaks with you, because when your natural man does pick up, your spiritual man has to be strong enough to say, I know this is how you feel, but the spiritual side is more vital to my destiny. And so now he's in the garden, and he arises from his prayer, and he finds them asleep. Now, I'm sure in Jesus's mind, right? And this is not in the text, so I can insert this eisegetically, so it makes sense, right? I'm sure at some point when Jesus got up, he looked over and said, now you got to be kidding me. I done opened blinded eyes. I done spit on the ground, made mud, put it on the man's eyes and open it. Deaf ears have been unstopped. A woman with an issue has been healed from the hem of my garment. I've spoken it and people have been healed. Come on. I've raised people from the dead. And now I'm getting ready to sacrifice my life for y'all. And now I wake up and find you sleeping. Find you sleeping. And so because of this, it causes him to pose the question. And he came to them and found them asleep and said unto them, what? You couldn't watch with me 1 hour? Jesus is saying, out of all the things you've seen me do, out of all the times you've traveled with me, out of the countless cities you've gone in and out with me, out of the countless miracles you've encountered with me, I told you to launch into the deep and drop your nets again. And you had so much that you couldn't even take it for your boat. You had to put some on the other boat, and you still had so much that everybody could be blessed. And for 1 hour, you can't stay awake and pray with me. Jesus is saying, I've had you guys this entire time I've been working. For 3 years, I've had you. And out of 3 years, you can't pray with me for 1 hour? But then he says to them, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Now, we like to tie this to sexual sins. This is that anytime somebody talk about the flesh being weak, this is all we talk about. This is all we talk about. All we talk about is sexual sins. That is the first thing that comes to everybody's mind when somebody says their flesh is weak. But can I say that to you? That's not the only thing that people should be aware of when their flesh get weak. Okay. So can we just can we stop tearing stuff off? Can we stop making stuff, starting to put sins in tiers? Sin is sin. Jesus is speaking to them in the wholeness of it. In the wholeness of it. Whatever your thing is, you got to watch and pray so that you don't become tempted, because your spirit is willing, but your flesh is weak. And caught at the wrong place at the wrong time, you might do anything. And so he poses this question. And so because he posed the question, I have to pose this question tonight. How much of your time is God worth? How much of your time is God worth? Out of all of the things that the Lord has done for you, how much of your time is God really worth to you? Is he worth the sacrifice? Is he worth the time that he speaks to you and tells you to get up? Is he worth the hour that he wants to spend with you? How much of your time is God worth? How much of it is he worth? And then a lot of times we get upset because we feel like we haven't accomplished certain things, or we haven't fallen into certain things, or certain things haven't happened as fast as we thought they should, or we haven't been able to achieve the things that we think we should. But my question is, have you missed certain times of your life, not because it wasn't your time, but because you were not aware it was your time because you were asleep? Come on. Is it that you missed it, not because it wasn't your time, but you weren't aware that it was your time because you were asleep? You weren't alert. You weren't awake. You wasn't cognizant of the timing in which you were. You were in a moment and you weren't able to identify it. I know we like to say stay woke and all that kind of stuff, and that stuff is great. But no, I'm really saying to you, stay woke. Stay woke. Stay alert. Because there's a moment in time that's coming for you. And you don't need to identify who it is. You need to be able to identify the moment. See, you're trying to identify who the moment is going to be with instead of identifying the moment in its fullness. You're trying to identify who's going to bring you into that moment instead of being able to identify when the moment is. And we've let some people pass by us because we were asleep, because we're trying to identify the person instead of being able to identify the moment. There are some moments that God is going to bring you into, but it's not going to come by who you think it's going to come by. But if you're not woke, you will miss the moment looking for a person, looking for a name, looking for a platform, looking for a put on. This ain't about no put on. This ain't about no platform. This ain't about name dropping. This is about being able to stay woke and identify when God puts you in a moment. When is he putting you in the moment? When I was at Elder Tillman's house, I was able to identify the moment. I was able to realize I was in a moment. Because I don't care what you do, how great or how small, you have to start somewhere. But the direct identity that people are connected to you, and the direct identity that people want to hear you, and the direct identity that you are called is the moment when you speak and people respond. It's not about the lights. It's not about the stage. It's not about the platform. It's about people hearing your voice and you identifying you have the attention of people in the moment. You have to be able to identify and maximize the moment. You have to be able to identify and maximize the moment. And it's not that your time has not come. It's not that God is angry with you. I want y'all to hear me today. The Lord told me to tell you he is not angry with you. He is not upset with you. Some of the stuff you still holding yourself to. God said you already asked me for forgiveness. And when you asked me for forgiveness, I put it in the seat of forgetfulness. And you keep coming to me about something that I don't even remember. Because once you repent to me, I throw it in the sea of forgetfulness. But because you haven't let it go, you kind of trying to figure out why you can't get to me. And why the connection seems to be disjointed. And why the connection seems to have interference. That's because God said you keep coming to me about something I don't even remember or have knowledge of no more. Because you're not awake. You're asleep because you're waiting for the right sound or the right one or the right connection. When God is saying, I am the connection. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man come unto the Father but through me. So if he is the one that has everything, why do we rely on people that have nothing? Stay woke. God will put you in the company of people that you never thought would ever want to hear what you have to say. But when you open your mouth, you will realize that you are in a moment. And when you realize that you are in a moment, you have to maximize the moment. God is going to bring some moments back around because some of you have said, surely I know God couldn't have done this for me. And God is saying, surely I'm doing this exact thing for you right now, in the moment, in the moment. Now watch this. Watch this. Let me go here. Watch this. If you look at this, what Jesus is trying to do is he's trying to get them to understand that, and in moments of suffering, I want you guys to understand that although it doesn't feel good in the moment, Jesus teaches us you can't rebel against what doesn't feel good, because although it doesn't feel good, it's going to work for your good. But if you rebel against the thing that doesn't feel good, then your future becomes no good. So you have to learn to be okay with the thing that doesn't feel good, accepting the thing that doesn't feel good, knowing that if I rebel against the thing that doesn't feel good, then what I'm trying to accomplish becomes no good. But when I'm accepting of the thing that doesn't feel good, then everything works out for my good. And so Jesus, he uses, watch this, because he's talking to Peter when he has this conversation. He uses Peter's drowsiness to warn him about the kinds of temptation he would soon face. And so the way, here it is, the way to overcome temptation is to keep alert and pray. The way to overcome some of the temptations that you are going to encounter, it's to stay alert and pray. Stay alert and pray. Stay alert and pray. Watch this. Here we go. Watch this. Watch. Watch is the Greek word for Gregorio, right? The Greek word for Gregorio, which means to be vigilant, to be awake, or to be alert. And so what Jesus is saying is, he comes to them and he says, you mean to tell me that you couldn't be vigilant? You couldn't stay awake? You couldn't stay alert for 1 hour? Jesus is saying, I've watched your back over all these years, and for 1 hour, you couldn't be vigilant enough to stay awake or be alert. I'm going off to go talk to God to make sure that I don't abort what God has sent me here for. And when I come back, I can't even find you being vigilant. When I come back, you're not even awake. When I come back, you're not even alert. Vigilant. Pastor, what does vigilant mean? Keeping careful watch for possible dangers or difficulties. And so sometimes what we have to understand is there are things that we've encountered in our life, not because, watch this, not because somebody was so deceptive, but because we were not watchful for danger. We were not aware of potential danger. We were not vigilant enough. We wasn't keeping a careful watch over what was going on. You know, when a woman has a newborn baby and they bring the baby home and they tell them what to do and what not to do, that mother, that father is so vigilant and being watchful of when the baby sleeps, being watchful of how the baby sleeps, being cognizant and watchful of when the baby cries, when the baby uses the bathroom, when the baby eats, right? That they're so vigilant and watchful. Why? Because they're making sure that everything is going well. They're staying focused to eliminate or keep any potential possible danger or difficulties of coming to fruition. And so when we pray and when we think about our lives, we have to be more vigilant. We need to be watchful of how people move. You need to be mindful of what people say.
You need to be watchful of how they treat other people. You need to be watchful of how much they complain. You need to be mindful of how many times they bring in somebody stuff to you. Because let me tell you something. Whoever is willing to bring you something will take your stuff to someone else. You have got to be watchful. You got to be mindful. And then you also have to be aware to make sure that you're not interacting. Watch this. You're not interacting innocently and end up entertaining something that is potential danger to your future. And so what Jesus is saying to Peter is, what you have to understand is praying and being watchful is always vital, because there will be moments where your interaction could cause you to become carnal, because your flesh is weak, although your spirit desires to do the right thing. And when your flesh becomes weak, it will try to overpower or silence or mute or turn off the spiritual side of you. And so, but when you're watchful and you're prayerful, when you're vigilant, when you're awake, when you're alert, you're able to get into a conversation and see when that thing is starting to go left. And when it starts to go left, you're able to say, I'm going back to the right. When it starts to go right, you're able to say, I'm going back to the left. Why? Because you are alert, you are aware, you are vigilant, you are conscious, and you are saying to yourself, this is a moment where I could ruin my future. So let me remember what's in front of me so that I don't entertain what's trying to be in front of me right now. And so in order for me to not ruin what's down the road, I have to make sure that I'm not inadvertently entertaining what's in front of me in the moment, because in the moment has the potential to ruin what's ahead of you. In the moment has the potential to damage what's ahead of you. In the moment has the potential to destroy what's in front of you. And you have to be cognizant enough to be able to endure in the moment so that you can enjoy what's in the future. You have to be mindful and alert enough to endure the moment of temptation so that you can enjoy the future positively. You have to be able to endure the temptation in the moment so that the temptation doesn't ruin you. And when you try to enjoy your future, the thing that tempted you has now gotten you and tries to bring what tempted you that you fell to your future when you're trying to stand later. In order for you to enjoy and stand in the future, you have to endure and not fall in the present. In order for you to enjoy and stand in the future, you have to be able to endure and not fall in the present. But when you are alert and when you are aware, you're able to say, I know me. I know me. So because I know me, I'm not going to even entertain that. Because I know me, I am not going to answer your call. Because I know me, I am not answering your text message. Because I know me, I am not answering your inbox. Because if I respond, I already know that the human side of me is detrimental to falling to you. Why? Not only because I have my weakness, but because you are my weakness. Can you be honest enough to say that I have to be aware of the one that is my weakness? We have tried to portray that we are really stronger than what we really are. But not only do you have a weakness, but there is individuals or an individual that has the potential to be your weakness. And when you aren't aware, that weakness looks real good. When you aren't aware, that weakness talks real good. When you aren't aware, that weakness smells real good. When you aren't aware, that weakness, it dresses real good. Why? Because it appeases to the natural side of you. But you can't afford to give in to the natural side and ruin what's ahead of you. Jesus says to them, for 1 hour, I'm getting ready to go and sacrifice my life. I'm getting ready to be falsely accused. I'm getting ready to be falsely imprisoned. Watch this. Not by a king, but by the people. Jesus wasn't falsely accused by the king. Pontius Pilate said, I find no fault with him. That's what he said. Pontius Pilate said, I find no fault with him. The people cried, crucify him. And for fear that the people would overtake his throne, he gave the people what they wanted. But what he didn't understand was Pontius Pilate, I thank God for Pontius Pilate, because he gave the people what they wanted, but Calvary gave me what I needed. I'm logging off. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Pontius Pilate gave the people what they wanted, but Calvary gave me what I needed. I don't know about nobody else. I know you saved. I know you sanctified. Listen, I know you got it. I know you breathe the breath of God. But this person right here, no good thing dwells in this flesh. And I'm grateful that Pontius Pilate gave the people what they wanted because Calvary gave me what I needed. You got to be aware. Got to be aware. God has kept you from many of the things that you've wanted because he wanted to give you what you needed. And when God can give you what you need, sis, take that. That's yours. That's yours, sis. Take it and wear it out somewhere. Pontius Pilate gave the people what they wanted, but Calvary gave me what I needed. Sis, you take that. You take that and sis, you ring it up. Ring it up. It's all yours, sis. We have to understand that God always gives us what we need. He showed it when he sacrificed his only begotten son. That is God's only, the ruler of all. He could have as many sons and daughters that he wants. But the only one that he had, he gave for a sacrifice to give you what you needed. Calvary should make more sense to you now. The covenant in Calvary gave Jesus the mindset to stay there, which gave me what I needed when he got off of there. I thank God for Calvary. I really, really do. I thank God for Calvary. I thank him for Calvary. The people will always tell you what's best for you. But God will provide you with what you need. It's not the season I want. God supplied to me what I need. That's why the text never said God will supply all of your needs. He'll supply all of your needs, not all of your wants. God shall supply all of your needs. But you can't get your needs met if you aren't willing to meet the needs of somebody else. When Paul speaks of that, He's given an example. Watch this. You don't, in order for my God to supply all of your needs according to his riches and glory, you have to have a seed in the ground. How do you get a seed in the ground? When you're able to supply the needs of somebody else. And when Paul's talking, Paul says to the ones that took care, watch this, to the ones that sold unto him when he was in prison, to the ones that came and saw about him when he was in prison, to the ones that reached out to him when he was in prison, to the ones that took care of him when he was in prison, they all inadvertently put seeds in the ground. And so when Paul was able to respond to them, Paul said, and my God shall supply all of your needs according to his riches and glory. You don't get your needs met until you're willing to not be selfish and help somebody else meet their needs. That's how that text becomes accurate to your life. You can't be stingy and say, my God shall supply. You can't insert that right there. That is biblically inaccurate. The only way you're able to insert that text to your life is when you have met the needs of somebody else. And so each of you qualify because each of you have met the needs for me somewhere down the line. And so I say to each of you tonight, my God shall supply all of your needs according to his riches and glory. And he shall continue. He shall continue to supply every single last one of your needs. Every single last one of your needs. Jesus is teaching a valuable lesson here. He's teaching the lesson of not only praying, but staying alert so that you don't fall to something because you were asleep. He doesn't want you to be asleep with your eyes open. You there, but your eyes is open and everything else is asleep. You're in the moment, but you're asleep. You're interacting, but you're asleep. You're conversing, but you're asleep. You're entertaining, but you're asleep. Eyes wide open, and you're not even awake. We must be vigilant. Greek word for watch is gregario, which means to be vigilant, right? Vigilant, keeping careful watch for possible danger or difficulties. Being alert, being awake. Identify when you're in the moment. And the only way you can maximize a moment is when you have the ability to be awake to even realize you're in a moment. And when you realize that you're in a moment, the blessing that shall come to many of you will be far greater than what you ever thought it would be. Stay woke. Stay alert. Stay watchful. Stay prayerful. Even after 21 days, y'all. I don't want you to lose it after 21 days. There's going to be certain times where I'm going to come back and do an impartation outside of Wednesday Bible study. Why? Because I don't want you to lose momentum. I told God whatever he wanted me to do to sacrifice, I will do it. Because I don't want people to miss it. I don't want you to lose it. And you're going to get moments where you return to your different things that you like to do. There's nothing wrong with it. But don't lose what you've gained here. Don't pick back up what you've put down during this time. Don't go back and entertain what you've deleted. Don't go pull it out of your iCloud. Who am I talking? Lord have mercy. Who am I talking to? Don't go pull it out of your iCloud just because it's not in front of you. Don't go into your storage. Talk, Pastor. Don't go into your storage and download it again. If you deleted it, leave it deleted. Don't go back and into your storage and download it again because you're having a moment, because you're weak, because you feel lonely. No. Leave it where it is. Leave it deleted. Don't go pick it back up. Don't go play with that. You're not strong enough to deal with that. Leave it where it is so that you may experience the blessings of the Lord. Father, we thank you and bless you. We appreciate you. Day 18, you have been with us for 18 days. Your power, your glory, your strength, your word, your instructions have been with us for 18 days. And God, we are grateful that you have kept us for 18 days. You have watched us and poured us over and carried us through for 18 days. Your people are leaving stronger. Your people are leaving healthier. Your people are putting down some things. Your people are eliminating some things. Your people are clearing their minds. They're clearing their spirits. They're clearing their hearts. You're rejuvenating their emotions. You're giving them brand new strength. And so, Father, I say thank you for every single one that has been with me every single day. Thank you for the prayers that they've uttered. Thank you for the sacrifices that they've made. Thank you for the obedience to their time. Thank you for the accountability that I've experienced over this time. Father, I ask that you meet every need. You are my God, and I'm asking you to supply every need of your people because they have taken great care of your servant. And Father, we promise to continue to give you the glory, the honor, and the praise, for it is due unto you. I love y'all. I appreciate you. Day 18 is in the books. Day 19 is tomorrow. And can you believe tomorrow's night impartation will be 19 days, which is only 2 days away from doing what you never thought you would be able to do. I love you. I'm proud of you. And I'll see you tomorrow.